You're listening to Dude Podcast with JC and Will. Put some pep in that step. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is JC.
And this is Will. And you, my friend, you are listening to, what are you listening to?
You're listening to the Dude Podcast. We're back.
We are
Better than
back.
ever.
And you know, as JC and I like to say, we're a couple of BLPs. And what does that stand for, JC?
Busy little boys.
We're busy little boys. And we just haven't been able to get around to this podcast. And I know you guys have been in tears, wondering where we've been. Are we okay? The answer is we're surviving.
I had a woman at Trader Joe's. She just punched me in the face.
No kidding.
I said, oh, what was that? I had no idea this woman was. She assaulted me. And I said, what was that for? And she just looked at me and said, Dude Podcast. And she walked away.
Oh,
that's how upset the Dudies are. So they can't get their fix.
I apologize. We got a lot going on. It turns out
children take time. It's shocking. Take a lot of time.
We've got kids. That's really pretty much it. We got kids, and that's really a lot. It takes up a lot of time.
I mean, an unbelievable amount of time.
And you don't, I mean, you still have the one. Does it feel like you're acclimating to the one kid routine, or is it still kind of, because when a kid is like under 3 years old, there's a level of just trying to make sure they're not going to kill themselves. That is, you're just always on edge.
That's still going on. Yeah, no, it does feel like, and also like, here's the other problem, right? So by the time like your child started moving and grooving and doing these things, your wife was pregnant with another one, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So like immediately you're having to like juggle a couple of things, and good, bad, or indifferent, you're not giving that kid all the attention it needs, right? It goes down a couple of degrees. Now they're going to learn. They're going to be fine. The problem is right now, we just got this guy. So he's getting a little bit of, a little bit too much attention. I always look at it. That sounds weird because I love my son. I love my son more than anything in the world. But as there is moments where I'm like, oh, am I making you a brat? Am I making you? Because like, you know what I mean? He's the only grandchild right now. He goes his grandparents, like he's the one boy, like he's just like, you know what I mean? Like there's things like today he had a temper tantrum, and I was just like, dude, we're doing. And the problem is when you're with, and maybe you've dealt with this, when you're with the grandparents, it's like they can do no wrong. They're like, don't discipline him. I'm like, what? Like, so he can. I bought the kid Chick-fil-A, and he just had a meltdown because, God forbid, he can't sit in bed with grandma and watch Mickey Mouse. Like again, dude, like life's pretty dang good. That you literally, I wish I could lay around, watch Mickey Mouse, and then someone forcibly takes me out of bed and sticks Chick-fil-A in front of me. That sounds like heaven.
You know, it's funny you say that. Because there will be times where we live by Chick-fil-A, so we're going there quite a bit. Because it's so cheap, and they get their protein, you know what I mean? And so my son will be like, I want an apple juice with my chicken nuggets. And there's times where I feel like I gotta teach my kid, like, you're not going to get everything you want, and so I won't get him the things that he wants.
You want to give him like a cup of mud or something? Be like, oh, and you're like, see, I got you a cup of mud. You can't always get what you. It's a lot better. Sorry, I got you the milk by accident, but guess what? That's a lot better than the cup of mud, right?
Right.
You teach them lessons. You teach them. It's like Arrested Development, how they had that guy with one arm. and dramatic
Wait,
things. Did you ever
what?
see that? So there's it's in the original first 3 seasons of Arrested Development. There was this running.
Yeah, Buster.
No, there was this running bit where I guess that they would to the Bluth, the adults, Lucille and Dad Bluth, whatever his name, in order to discipline or teach the children lessons, they had some friend of the family who had one arm.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of tragic events would unfold in order to teach lessons, and like they
But
were.
that's why you don't tell a lie.
That's why you don't. I think another one was that's why you leave a note. Was the other one like something would happen? Like it would appear like this tragedy was unfolding and this man was losing his
Like
arm.
super traumatic, yeah.
And then he would turn to them and call out the lesson that they should learn. Which again, were like very minor life lessons.
We should hire someone to do that for us. Like when our kids are demanding like a 12-piece chicken nugget instead of an 8-piece.
We contact like war veterans and we're like, hey, listen, listen, oh my God. Yeah, we contact the literally the Veterans Affairs and say, listen, it's a tragedy. I know, but I have a great job. I have a good job for you. And it's to teach our children lessons while exploiting the fact that you're missing a limb. Can we do that?
It's kind of a Matt Foley situation.
It is kind of a Matt Foley situation. I mean, like, as somebody, right? I think we should be very fair. Like, you're disabled, right? You lack your hearing. If you could somehow teach children a lesson in hearing and exploit that, wouldn't that be a great gift?
I don't know how I would do it, but sure.
It'd be great. Like I have a weird eye, and if I could somehow teach people a lesson and be like, "That's why you don't." That's why you drink all your milk.
That's why you always put the toilet
like this. Like that'd be great, right? Like that's what we can always help.
That's why you always make sure you turn the sink completely off. Completely off. I don't know why, but I had a moment today. Do you remember when Britney Spears was at her height. Okay.
I remember her pretty vividly for a lot of reasons. I was also going through puberty at that time. So a lot of memories with Britney Spears. But there was a song called Lucky that she did.
Oh, yeah. We all know it. It's a great song.
So Lucky. Yeah. So the really strange thing about this, I don't know. I was literally watering my plants today and I thought, this is how my mind works. Just FY, that broken mind that I have. I'm watering my flowers.
I like to call it a beautiful mind, but continue.
Yeah, it's a beautiful mind. Yeah. I'm watering my flowers today and I come to the realization, I'm like, oh my God, Britney Spears became lucky. She literally became, in real life, the person she sang about in that song.
Did you just now pick up on that?
Well, no.
She was clearly singing about herself.
Well, no, I know she was singing about herself, but at the same point in time, at that point where you're like, all right, you're Britney Spears, you're fine. Now, I'm just saying, like, hindsight's 20, like 15 years later, when you see her doing her weird, crazy, like, drug-induced workout videos or whatever she's doing in that empty mansion somewhere, and it's very sad and very strange. Like, she went full Lucky.
But here's the thing. Lucky's not about a woman who eventually becomes crazy. Lucky's about a lonely, famous person.
Yeah, but again, it was
Britney
hard.
Spears to me is a famous person who ended up kind of going crazy.
Oh, dude, not kinda. She went completely crazy.
She seems like the type of person that when you come over to her house and she makes you dinner, she tells you about this recipe that she just tried out, and it turns out it's chicken tartare. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Dude,
like, oh no, this woman lost her mind. She's
That's
feeding
not
me
exact-
chicken tartare.
She feed me raw chicken. No, dude, she's the kind of person that like she's feeding you her pets.
Yeah. I mean,
she's going full. She's going whenever there was that movie with oh God, it was Cruella DeVille. What was her name? Oh God, what was that movie? I have to look it up now.
Who do you think? Who is your of all the pop stars out there, female pop stars? Who is the one that's like
Fatal Attraction? It was Fatal Attraction.
Never seen it,
and it was Glenn Close. And Glenn Close,
she fed people her cat.
No. So Glenn Close, you don't know this?
Wait, pop star?
No,
who fed people her cat? Oh, Glenn.
I love that I'm having to explain to you. That's even better. If that was, that's much better than what it really is. But the film was Fatal Attraction, and it was Glenn Close and Michael Douglas, and they were having an affair, and she was crazy. She was because Michael Douglas had like a real family. He was like, this woman had like nothing, and this woman, he became his whole life. That's the plot of the story, right? Crazy lady. Well, Michael Douglas's family had a pet bunny that they loved, right? So she at some point, it's like the end of the movie, right? Like, because Michael Douglas is like trying to get rid of her. He's like, I don't love you. You're crazy. Like, that's the whole film. Crazy woman falls in love with Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas trying to get rid of her. She can't get rid of this crazy woman. So at one point at the end of the movie, she comes over to his house, right? Ooh, heartbeat. She's trying to ruin his life. She made him a meal. It's the bunny.
Here's the thing. I bet it was delicious too.
This movie came out the year I was born, so I really hope that no one's like, gosh dang it, that's what happens in the movie. What's the rule? What's your running rule on that?
On cooking pet bunnies?
No. On like at some point you can discuss the end of a movie. Let's say you're at a soiree. Some fancy dinner party.
Word, by the way. That's a great word. It's a delicious sounding word. I would eat like 20 soirees in one sitting.
I would also tell you this: a soiree, fancy, dinner party, whatever. Word not used nearly enough.
I agree. It's a good word.
But it was a great word. I felt like in the 80s, in the 90s, it definitely had a moment. All right.
Continue. So you talk about threshold for spoiling movies. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So you're there and you're like, oh, did you, and like, let's say a movie comes up and you're discussing it, or a movie or a TV show. At what point, like, because they're like, oh, don't tell me. If I'm at a dinner party and we're talking about Fatal Attraction, and I'm like, don't tell me. Do you go, here's the dude. Here's the dude. Here's the deal, JC. You're literally 37 years old. That film came out 37 years ago. Sorry, man. I'm talking about the plot and the ending right now. Would that be like, what's your
Here's the deal. My take is, if you haven't seen a movie within like a year of it coming out, like not in theaters, and you haven't seen it, you don't get to be upset when someone ruins the plot for you. Because then you really didn't care about it. If you really need to know it, here's the thing. There's so many movies made now that's like, You can't possibly keep. I don't know. What does it matter? I don't know.
You're right. If you're that
Have you
invested,
ever been mad about somebody spoiling a movie for you?
yes,
Like genuinely.
yes, I have. Yes.
What
Yes, I
movie was this? And how
can't
long was it?
remember. I can't remember, but I've had moments where I'm like, gosh dang it, I know what's going to happen right now because someone said something.
I've never at one point been like, oh, you ruined Shawshank Redemption for me. I've never been like that. That's just
Man. There are. I'm very like. It's also one of these weird things where I also like pat myself on the back like way too much if there's a show or something where I'm like, I didn't look that up. Like that's the other weird thing I do now, where I get like really proud of myself for like if it's something like I want to see. Like I'm really bad at like cheating and being like, I wonder what happens in it. Like I'll do that. And then when I hold out, I feel like I have such willpower. I'm like, I didn't even need to do that. I gave myself so much. I was so proud of myself for holding out for the rehearsal season 2. Like, because I had heard that the finale was insane of that show, right?
Yeah.
And I held out and didn't know anything that was going to happen. And I was genuinely shocked. And I was so like, look at me. Look at me. Look how I can.
You know what? I've done that. Here's the thing. I can think of one example. I once watched, what's the Gary Oldman movie? The Tiny Tinker Toys Spies or whatever.
Spy, Tinker, Soldier, Spy, whatever. Something like
really
that.
highly regarded. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to try to watch this. And about 30 minutes in, I'm like, so far, I have no clue what is going on. And I Googled the synopsis of it, and I'm like, And I just stopped watching it. I was like, I don't feel like watching it anymore. And I have no regrets about it. So I can kind of understand that, like just being like proud that you stuck it through and went all the way to the end, and maybe even understanding it. But I didn't have the willpower.
Film, you know what? There's a lot of films like that. There, I'm like, I actually should give myself more. I should have just given up on it way earlier. Like I should have. Like, yeah.
Speaking of, so literally like a month ago, maybe not even. I forget what channel it's on or what streaming service it's on, but I had the option to watch Game of Thrones. Okay, I'd never seen it. Really didn't care to see it, but I'm like, I'm gonna see what all the hype is about. Good Lord, holy incest! That is crazy. I was after like the first 2 episodes, I'm like, people get hyped about this? He's having sex with his sister. It's crazy.
Listen, it don't stop there, buddy. It just keeps getting
good Lord. Like I felt uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't understand this. And I just stopped.
There's that was I think that was sort of the allure of the show. Was like everyone was watching it and you were like, are you watching? Oh, like I think you were like surprised that like, you know, your great Aunt Myrtle was watching it too. You're like, Great Aunt Myrtle's watching this show? Oh God. I can't believe Great Aunt Myrtle saw those boobs. You know, like that was the thing. I think that was part of it. Yeah.
Here's the deal. Maybe if I didn't have a sister, I might be able to enjoy it more. But when you see brothers and sisters going at it, you can't just be like, I have a sister. And I can't.
Yeah.
It's just, it's weird. I was like, no, thanks. I'm done with this.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think that's a reasonable reaction to have. All right. So Dudies, we're going to keep you in the loop because this may be the most interesting side story that me and Will here are trying to pursue. So, as we close in on 40, one of the goals that me and Will mutually have, especially since, let's just be honest, the television landscape is changing. Mm-hmm. You have some of these old gems. You know, we're really bummed out that the Late Show is ending. Mm-hmm. You know, David Letterman was a show that I used to sneak as a child. I used to think he was absolutely hilarious. Really, really bummed out of what's happening over at CBS. But then you start kind of going into the dynamics. And listen, there's a lot of reasons why it's happening. You could say a lot of it's political. You could say a lot of it is because of the show's cost. I think it probably, if I'm being really honest, I think it was probably a combination of a lot of different factors, right? I don't think it's necessarily one thing or the other. But what you do learn, which is true, is the show was especially expensive to produce. And you don't realize how much those old school late night shows cost to produce. So you almost got to think as these networks are trying to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, how eventually, you know, some of these shows that were mainstays that were really a part of Americana and our culture, the cultural fabric of America and American pop culture, are going to be disappearing. If we're talking Game of Thrones, who sits on the throne in the United States is definitely Saturday Night Live, right? It's been going on. It's going to be its 51st year. It's produced, you know, at this point, you could, you know, hundreds of certifiable movie star, I don't know if you call them all stars, but I mean, dozens and dozens of people that everybody knows, that things that have been within pop culture and that are just intertwined within like kind of modern humor as we know it. So it's me and Will's goal to actually make it to Rockefeller Center to see a taping of either a rehearsal or the actual show itself. So what we want to do is, as we progress, and if we have any level of success trying to go through this process, we will chronicle it and we will report on it and give you Dudies what you want. So our goal is to get tickets. Here's the crazy thing, guys. As you dig further, so just to take even provide a little bit more context, right? In the United States, in the pantheon of live events, let's put it that way, right? There are things that are relatively easy to see, right? And then there are things that are pretty difficult to see. Fairly easy to see. Me and Trey and Carol Ann almost went to a live Yo Gabba Gabba show, right? We love Yo Gabba Gabba. We're going through a big Yo Gabba Gabba phase. The songs, they bang. It's great. Pretty easy to get tickets. A little expensive, but pretty easy to get tickets. On the flip side, I'm wearing this right now. It's a Masters hoodie. The Masters event is one of the most difficult tickets in.
You can't buy that. What you just got right there, you can't get that online. You have to go to the Masters to get that.
I have to go to the Masters, and this is real. If you want actual swag, actual real Masters swag that's not fake, you got to go to the event and get it. My uncle had a crazy story on how he went to the Masters event and what it took and the necessary steps to get there. It's pretty crazy. So it's complicated.
To your point, there are some things, like there are some artists or musicians or bands or performances that are, you know, not really that high in demand, but enough that they can tour around, and the tickets are relatively, you know, decently priced and pretty easy to get to. There's some, like if you're a really good musician, the tickets are super expensive, like Taylor Swift. There's like $300 or something. You know what I mean?
The Eras tour was probably one of the closest things to a very, very. I mean, it was. You know, it wasn't the Masters, but it was pretty difficult to get tickets to.
And that's the mark of like a hard ticket to get is price. But with SNL, it's even crazier because it's free.
Yeah, SNL's free, and yet it appears to be the most. I mean,
it's like the most coveted ticket.
It may be the most difficult tickets to get in. It may be in any. I mean, seriously, it may be the most difficult tickets to get in anything. Go like I can't like outside of like the Academy Awards and something where it's like in like truly invite only.
Mm-hmm.
The Met Gala, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's got to be the hardest ticket to get it.
It's definitely up there.
No, I think it's the most difficult ticket to get into that isn't invite only. Let's put it that way.
We did our research. Like I consulted our dear friend ChatGPT and just said like, hey, what are the creative ways to get into taping of SNL? And it gave this list. And it was like, some people have recorded like pretending to be like workers at 30 Rock building and being like a janitor and sneaking in. I'm like, that's crazy.
Like people have had to like literally like work for like half a year to like get into a taping. Like actually like work a second job at 30 Rock in order to do it. So anyway, that's me and Will's goal this year. We have reached out to various writers, cast members. We have both entered the lottery, which is very difficult. And then what we're going to do is probably the easiest way to get by. And actually, it's kind of crazy. Is Sierra O'Sullivan is probably the second. Well, I don't know. There's going to be a shakeup probably at SNL coming soon, but she was probably under Colin Jost, at least in season 50, probably the number 2 writer at SNL. The crazy thing is she actually replied to my email within about 6 hours, which I think is kind of crazy. And she told us, hey, use the standby line. It's very difficult to get tickets. I only have a couple of tickets allotted to myself. And I can, I'm saving them for a couple of dear family members for a couple of shows. So that gives you a picture of like, if that's like the number 2 writer at SNL and it's that difficult for her to give tickets. I'm not saying that like, could she be lying? Could she be exaggerating? Sure. It was a very thoughtful message, very detailed message, and it actually aligns with everything that we've read online. So I do not think she is exaggerating by any means. So what we're going to try to do is every week there is notification of the standby tickets that are available, in which you have to email, I believe, Will, at noon Eastern, so it'd be 11 o'clock your time. We have to contact NBC Studios, request these tickets, hope that we get picked in the lottery. If we get picked in the lottery, we have to go up to New York City within 24 hours, wait in line for 12 hours. We'll then be given a ticket. And then hopefully at that point, if you're given a ticket after waiting 12 hours, you can either go to supposedly you will either be ushered to the actual taping or the pre-taping. So me and Will have made a pact that we're going to do this every Thursday until the ending of the season. Both work hard to get standby, and if either of us get it, Will is going to have to cancel whatever plans he has that weekend and fly up, and we are going to piss off both of our wives, probably ruin their weekends.
Even if my daughter's getting married and I have to walk her down the aisle, I'm gonna say, honey, sorry, I can't. I gotta go to SNL with JC. Uncle JC.
Honey, you have a better chance of getting married again, right? Mm-hmm. Than me getting tickets to the SNL. So
exactly.
Sorry.
And the good news is I don't have a daughter, but I would have to say that to her.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to chronicle that. We're going to detail it, and hopefully we can crack the system. I think
we're still trying little other methods and like writing to specific people, but yeah, I mean, I sent a crazy email to the Please Don't Destroy guys. I haven't heard anything back. I'm still holding out hope, but we're trying to do everything we can to get into a taping.
Yep, we're doing our darndest. That's for sure. What else, Will?
You were talking about how this show was around for over a decade before we were born. That's how, this show is old, right? So I was Googling, I wonder what the cast was when we were born. And it's more relevant. It's more relevant than you would think. That's what's shocking me about it. It's like, I did not realize these guys were on the cast when we were born. Okay.
So 1987 then, right?
87 to 88. Here it is. Here's some names that kind of surprised me. Dana Carvey,
Incredible.
which is wild. Phil Hartman,
Oh God, one of the best like
straight men.
straight men ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Voice, unbelievable voice, just funny voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. John Lovitz, who is also underrated funny.
Oh, John Lovitz is excellent.
What?
That's the ticket. That's the
so
ticket.
funny. He's so funny. Kevin Nealon.
Oh, the great Kevin Nealon.
Great. There was only 10 people on that. Is that right?
Was Mike Myers on that cast?
There was only 10 people on the cast at that time. Isn't that crazy?
What about people that were featured? If you remember what they do, and they still do it, right? They have like, you have the cast, the core cast, and then you have like featured players who, I don't know, maybe they'll like, be a waiter at a table in some sketch or something like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Interesting.
Who else was that? That wasn't 10 people, was it?
Those are the only. I mean, Al Franken's one of them, but I don't really know a lot about it. And Dennis Miller,
Dennis Miller. I mean, these were. Listen, pound for pound, excellent cast.
Yeah, for sure.
But Mike Myers wasn't on the cast at that point. Did he come a year later? I thought he was. Mike Myers would be part of the.
Who?
Mike Myers. I wonder when Mike joined. It must have been like a year or two later.
Myers joined SNL. Mike Myers joined the cast of Saturday Night Live on January 21st, 1989. We were 2 years old, friend. Not even.
How didn't I remember that as a 2-year-old? Gosh dang it.
When did Conan join SNL? I'm a big Conan O'Brien fan.
Actually, don't say this. I actually think I know this.
88 to 91.
Oh, really? I thought he was a writer there in the 90s. So it was late.
91. Yeah.
Okay, but that's okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So here's hoping, and if JC and I have to stand in that line all night long, and January in New York City, so be it. We'll put some of those like heat warmers in our pants and hope for the best. Okay, the first time I went to New York City, you and I and Donnie Martin went to a taping of Jimmy Fallon when he was doing the late night show, and you want to tell the audience what happened that night?
Well, there was a couple things that happened that night. That was one of the most intense snowstorms that New York had in probably 2 decades or something like that.
They were calling it a blizzard, is what they were calling it.
A blizzard. They shut down the tunnels.
Yes.
Shut down. So
we had to take Ubers, and they were sliding all over the place. It was crazy.
If you recall, I think this may have even been pre-Uber, which is crazy.
You might be right. I think it was still taxi.
We had to get what was called a gypsy cab at the time, which was just like a rogue black car. They used to be in New York. God, this is dating myself. In New York, if you normally hail a taxi, you throw your hand up, it's got a light on, right? That's the indicator that that they're going to take you. If there's a light on, if there's no light, they're not going to take you, right? But there'd be these unmarked black cars, and they just called them gypsy cabs because there was no meter. So they could tell you what they could just.
And you had to negotiate prices. Yeah, it was weird. It was crazy.
And again, it was at this point, 1.5 foot of snow. So you better believe homeboy was negotiating, and he definitely had a lot of leverage. I do want to say we went all of maybe I don't know 11 blocks, and he probably got $75 out of us. So good for him. So we went to a taping of Jimmy Fallon. This is before Jimmy Fallon inherited the Tonight Show, and he also shook her hand. I got a handshake with with Jimmy, and that was awesome, man. It was cool to watch how the
fun.
sausage is made. It's very unusual
Went
because
to Carnegie Deli. Is that even around anymore?
no, that's what's crazy too. We went to Carnegie Deli. Carnegie Deli closed. It may have been a victim of COVID, or it was like right before that.
It was not great. It was not. I was like, what is the hype here? They put like a pound of meat on your sandwich. I'm like, who's eating this?
That's part of part of the allure. You know, it's a lot of meat, man. It's a lot, you know, so for some people they don't need all that meat. But you know, RIP Carnegie Deli. Yeah, we got stuck in a snowstorm.
We stayed. So I said, here's the other thing I remember about that trip. We stayed in the New Yorker Hotel, which is right across the street from MSG. And what was happening at the New Yorker that weekend was the international dog show, whatever. And the whole second floor was reserved for like, it had like little treadmills that the puppies could like, you know, stay in shape on. And it had like, I mean, the biggest pet pamperers you've ever seen, like people like rolling their pets around in strollers. And I mean, it was pretty wild to see the insanity that is competitive dog show people.
Yeah. You would see dogs with like Invisalign in, you know, they'd be like taking Invisalign out of the dog and be like, oh, well, its teeth are now straight.
Like dogs that were being better taken care of than
easily. Also, I mean, yeah, that was a great, man. That was a great. There was a lot of hilarious and unusual things going on. Speaking of SNL, too, another crazy thing: Justin Bieber was performing on SNL that week we were there, and it was. I mean, again, torrential snowstorm, and there were people lined up. If you remember this, outside of Rockefeller Center in the snow, like with like, you know, sleeping bags on top of them because they were going to move. I'm sure people had frostbite and all kinds of issues. It was a very interesting like trip. Yeah. There was another moment where I remember because they had shut down the tunnels. There was literally no one in Times Square. So at one point we were like in Times Square, and there's literally like it was like you could have shot a movie or something. It was crazy. No one was there. It was nuts.
It's crazy. It was pretty wild. It was kind of the sight to behold. It was really fun to be there at that time. Another trip that we took to New York City one time, you and I decided we were going to try to get into a taping of Kelly and Michael back when they were a duo. And we got to the office, and the lady goes, no, they're not doing a tape. Or they either said it was too full or there's no taping. So she goes, but you know what's happening that you can go to is Demi Lovato is doing a show in Central Park. Like, I know nothing about her, but we went, and we probably stayed for like, what, 5 minutes?
It got a little weird when it was just us and a lot of teenage girls, right? That felt a little.
It was weird.
A little like, yeah, we don't need to be here. This isn't good. This isn't good for anybody.
Yeah, you know, we've had some interesting trips to that city,
dude. We've had some great ones, man. I mean, again, that's one of it's my favorite, old New York City. It's a place that.
Any Dudies listening who have any great ideas, any smart ideas for us to get into a taping of SNL, let us know, because, you know, I mean, we won't go as far as like, you know, cheating, but we'll do something like, you know, dress up as SNL mascots, and we'll come in and we'll dance.
We would never cheat to get into SNL.
No, but I'll tell you what. Followers. I'll wear a bikini into that building if it's necessary. I'll do anything embarrassing to myself. That's for sure.
Okay. Exactly.
I mean, if you and I have to go in there, you know, wearing coconut bras and hulas, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Just give us some ideas. We'll take any creative ideas.
For sure.
Well, Mr. Crumb, what else we got here?
Well, I think we need to end on a high note. Especially if our esteemed producer, is going to be subjected to listening to this. We got to give him something. By the way,
Mr. Our old pal Parker Ferrell is going to be editing this for us, and he's a dear friend who we'll probably have him on the podcast at some point. Because talk about stories. That guy's got stories for sure.
That guy has a lot. That guy's got a lot of stories, and is maybe the sweetest human being I've ever met in my it's one of those weird things where at some point in life you're like, well, I'm going to meet more people that are nice. That no, still haven't met people as sweet as that guy. He's still the sweet. He's still he is. It's kind of like that. I don't know. Was it the 88 or the 87 Chicago Bears defense? Where in your head you're like, there's going to be a defense just as good as the Chicago Bears defense. They still say it's the best defense. That's Parker Ferrell still being such a sweet guy. No one's stopping him. It's incredible. He just he's truly elite at being a sweetheart of a human being.
Yes, he is.
No, man. I was just, you were telling me it's back to school, man. So you've been taking your kid to Spanish speaking. So tell me just how's that been? Has it been fun, weird, hilarious?
He's been going to school for, as of tomorrow, he will have been in school for a week. He's kind of on the old side for his grade. He's in kindergarten. He really should kind of be in first grade, but to do the Spanish immersion program, you have to start at kindergarten. So he's in kindergarten. He just turned 6, and it is all Spanish. They start out with all Spanish. And we've been told that even if your kid doesn't speak Spanish, kids' brains are so malleable. They really can they're really good at adapting to where they can just kind of start understanding things pretty quickly. It's fascinating. So
it's awesome, dude. It's awesome because eventually, he's gonna be able to when he's older. He could move to Spain, or he could literally be you know what? I kind of want to go work in South America for a little bit.
I told my wife when he got accepted, I said, I think we just changed the course of our son's life. Just knowing a different language is huge. So he's doing this whole semester. His teacher is speaking nothing but Spanish. So in theory, by the time he's in 5th grade, he's going to be fluent in Spanish. So
that's awesome. It is kind of horrifying, though. I mean, here's the challenge with that. He literally can take advantage of you in a whole new way that you'll have no idea that can you imagine all of a sudden being able to speak another language in front of your parents and they have no idea what's going on? That's a superpower.
Well, luckily for me, my sister and brother-in-law are fluent in Spanish, so if I got to record him and have them translate, I can do what I got to do.
Yeah. Are you gonna have a Home Alone style talk boy that you're recording your son on and play it back for Pastor John? Be hey, I think he's talking about me. It's he just wants to get a couple more apples at the. He really is not happy with the fruit selection that you've been having at the grocery store. You may want to check on that.
But Jordan and I like to think of it as, if Rowdy, our youngest, goes there, which he probably will, one day we can go to Spain and we got some people who can translate for us.
I love it, man. I think that's excellent. My thought was, were you going to go with a different language with him so that you have
French.
2 kids?
There is a French immersion, but it's not in the same school. The school that Archie's in is strictly Spanish. It's really close to our house, so we'll probably keep. But here's the thing: isn't it kind of funny to have a little pale white redhead kid who speaks Spanish? That would be hysterical. Rowdy kind of feels like a Hispanic name, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, No, it doesn't.
I'm
I don't think-
Robbie Sanchez.
Well, maybe if your last name was Sanchez, but yeah, I think it is like one of those things where I don't know if you've ever been on YouTube and you've seen like again, it has to be like the most stereotypical like white dude, right? Like your most go into like an Asian restaurant, like a true like Chinatown, or maybe they're in like Hong Kong or whatever, and speak like absolutely perfect, like Cantonese or you know what I mean, like Mandarin, excuse me, and like the reaction people have is just incredible. So yeah, it would be awesome, especially again, your son, your super pale redhead son, if he speaks perfect Spanish, that would be pretty mind blowing.
It'd be amazing. And it's funny you say that. So my sister used to live in Honduras, and we went to visit her. And when she picked us up from the airport, when you get out there, there's a lot of people at the airport where there's just like taxis and stuff, and it's just people trying to hustle. I mean, let's be honest, white people that come in, they're trying to hustle like foreign-looking people, right?
Sure.
I think that's common for a lot of airports. And so my sister was like talking to those people. They were all coming up to us, and when I heard my sister speak Spanish to these like native speaking Hondurans, it was like I was no longer looking at my sister Emily. I was listening to Yolanda talking to, like, it was like that wasn't my sister. It was some other lady. It's amazing what dialect in different language does to a person, because my sister sounded night and day different.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That is
crazy.
My aunt was the same way. My aunt speaks fluent German, and we were in Germany.
Oh, really? Which aunt is this?
Mia.
No kidding.
Yeah, she speaks fluent German. She's because her mom and dad are from Germany.
That's wild.
So, yeah, and so she was like, I don't really speak, I speak it like she's so like, I'm not, I don't speak it super fluently. I'm embarrassed, and like it's
fun. It's fun to hear.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And she's like making small talk. And again, to your point, the dialect changes, like her cadence changes. Everything about it is wild. You're like, who are you? Like, it is crazy. It's cool.
It is cool.
It's awesome. Fun. That's cool, man. Yeah. So we're same thing with Trey. He's going to start going to school a couple hours a day. Now it's not a Spanish immersion school.
Right.
It's not that. It's Little Angels, spelled Lil. Angels, like a rap. It sounds like a rapper name.
Nice.
Going to Little Angels, 3 hours a day, or Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that'll be good. We're excited. We're excited to,
It's great. No, when we started putting Archie at 3 into a Mother's Day out 2 days a week, his cognitive abilities, his like speaking, his problem solving skills, everything went way up. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. By the way, I love the name Mother's Day Out. It always made it sound like she's going on the town. Mm-hmm. Like mom's got some big exciting plans at Mother's Day Out.
She should. Mom needs a drinky winky and headed to the mall.
What a ridiculous name! Is that still in the vernacular of? Do they still call it Mother's Day Out?
Well, a lot of churches do that, and when he was going to a church, Mother's Day Out.
I mean, this is at a church too, but it just. Again, I would have thought over the years that language would have changed. I don't know why. It just feels very dated. It feels like one of these, like, a woman getting out of the house. This is great. Like, it does feel like such a, like, broken, like I don't know, like, backwards thing. I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah, it does kind of sound dated for sure. But
that's
awesome,
are out. There you go. Well, hey, we're happy to be back, Dudies. Join us on our SNL adventure as hopefully we
we'll keep
do
you
get
updated.
tickets. We're going to keep you updated. We got a new producer. Shout out to Parker Ferrell. Love you for doing this. And yeah, hopefully we're going to be at least trying to do 2 episodes a month, pumping them out on a regular basis, and have a lot of fun with you guys going into 2026. So, Dudies, have an awesome week. And
Great
we love
week.
you.
Yeah, we do love you, and we're glad to be back.
So glad to be back. Love you.
Back into your ear holes.
Mm-hmm.
Soothing
Delicious.
all your ailments and woes with our voices.
Love it. Love it.
Dude.
All right. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it, Will.
Bye.
Bye.